Hey everyone. Now today, you're going to hear me go apeshit, go a little bit stupid, perhaps a little bit crazy, because we're going to be talking about my least favorite monument, the Liberty Bell. If you don't know much about the Liberty Bell, you might think it's a fine bell, a sign of freedom in America, but you couldn't be more fucking wrong. In fact, it's just a stupid bell with zero actual historical significance. And you're going to hear all about it. Now, I was going to have a friend of mine debate me in this topic, but he decided to back out a week after he said he would, so I was a little bit strapped for time with this video. So please, if you enjoy it, show me support, like the video, and subscribe so you don't miss my next one. I'll love you for it. So, the Liberty Bell. That bell. Let's go over some brief history of the bell before I really sink my teeth into this. So, it was cast in Britain, not even America, in 1752 to replace the old city bell that was hung from a tree behind the Pennsylvania State House, which I couldn't find any more information on, but I assume it was a smaller bell, as the Liberty Bell was requested to weigh 2,000 pounds, which for our less privileged non-American viewers is equal to about 2,000 footballs. Nothing special about it yet, except that it has a quote from Leviticus 25:10 inscribed on it, and that it misspelled Pennsylvania. They claim that it was an accepted spelling at the time, but I don't buy it. I think they knew exactly how shitty the bell is. They're trying hard to keep the truth from coming out. Open your eyes. They're lying to you. Not only that, but the bell cracked on its first ringing. It wasn't the largest crack, sure. But why are we fucking hanging this shitty bell in Independence Hall as if it's the best thing since the War of 1812? Jesus. They fixed it shortly after with a local company, Bells R Us or something, I don't fucking know. But the bell shouldn't have had to be fixed. It should have been made up to standard, or even to a somewhat decent quality. Hell, there are bells that are much older than the Liberty Bell that are still rung today and not cracked, like the
Okikicho Bell at Myoshinji,
which was cast in 698. It has been used since then. I mean, from all accounts, the Liberty Bell is simply a poorly made bell for a state that just so happened to be significant. But don't forget that the bell was never used for a significant event. It wasn't even rung during Victory in Europe or Victory in Japan Day. In fact, the last time it was rung was in 1846 during President's Day, and it was retired from use due to a large crack that formed due to heavy use. So a bell made in 698 outlasted a bell made in 1752? Didn't even make it 100 years! Which, if it was a normal bell, whatever, not a big deal. But it's not a normal bell. It's been placed as an attraction in Pennsylvania, and people come look at it all the time to learn the history of it, which is fucking nothing! God damn it! I went to New York City for my birthday this year. I stayed with a friend in New Jersey and we went to go see the bell, which awakened this realization the bell means not a goddamned thing. Alright, I'll stop ranting now. Let's discuss the actual history of the bell. Maybe I missed something. Maybe it was cool in the 80s or whatever. Maybe the Soviets tried to assassinate the bell and it stood defiant. Let's look into that. But let's recap what we know. The old bell needed to be replaced, so they replaced it. It cracked, they fixed it. What happens next? Well, they immediately tried to replace the Liberty Bell. They did an analysis of it and said it was a pure construction. They used the wrong alloy, apparently. They decided to order a new bell, which was originally going to use the old bell to melt down and make a new one. But they decided not to, I assume because the main issue with the old bell was because the metal itself was flawed, not the casting. But they kept the first bell and devoted it to, and I quote, "to such uses as this house may hereafter appoint." Basically meaning, I don't fucking know, figure it out. Oh, and remember how I said that the bell wasn't rung for anything significant? Well, I was wrong. In 1760, it was rung to celebrate the accession of George III to the throne. Yup. It was rung to celebrate a tyrant coming to power. Not much of a Liberty Bell if you ask me. The bell was then given to a church to ring, but from what I can tell, nothing really came out of that besides a bunch of noise complaints. So I guess they took it back? Oh, and there is a legend that the Liberty Bell was rung on the day of the adoption of the Declaration of Independence. In fact, they cannot find any records saying that the bell was even rung that day at all. There are plenty of other bells rung that day, mind you, but there's no evidence that the Liberty Bell was among them. They think it was rung, but I believe that they only think that because they want to think that. Now, in 1777, the bell was hidden to prevent the British from securing it and turning it into musket balls for their muskets. And it was hidden for about 9 months until it was returned in June of 1778. After this, the bell was rung yearly on Independence Day, on George Washington's birthday, and on Election Day to remind people to hand in their ballots. Important? Sure. But I wouldn't call it something only this bell could have done. In fact, I bet there are plenty of other bells besides this one that were rung for the same reasons that don't get nearly as much recognition. The only other thing of note that the Liberty Bell was a part of was a single anti-slavery publication. But I think it was just because it just so happened to be the bell in the Pennsylvania State House, not because of the inscription or any other reason. In fact, the only reason why I can find is depicted as a relic is because a writer, George Lippard, wrote a short story about it where he lied. He made it all up. It was his fault. This fucker is going up on my list of most hated Americans right next to Woodrow Wilson and Andrew Jackson. The entire mythos of the Liberty Bell is just a cute legend that was spread in the 1850s. It has zero historical significance. It does not represent anything of value. It is simply a bell that got caught in the middle of it all. I hate it. Well, that was a heated video, but thank you all for watching. And I hope you enjoyed my incoherent ramblings about the lies of that bastard George Lippard. If you have any recommendation for videos, please let me know. And if you enjoyed this one, leave a like and subscribe, as I release videos of this type every 2 weeks. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in 2 more weeks. Goodbye.